लड़ाई आपकी ये है कि इसको अपने ऑस्कर के नॉमिनेशन तक कैसे पहुंचाते हैं, दोनों के लिए क्या स्ट्रेटजी होगी आपकी? एक तो वाइडर ऑडियंस आपको इंडिया में मिले, और एक जहां इसको अवार्ड मिल सकता है वहां तक पहुंचे ये फिल्म।
देखिए, एक तो आई थिंक जिस तरह हम पोजीशन करना चाहते हैं इस फिल्म को, आई थिंक यूटीवी की एग्जीबिशन ऑलरेडी उनकी अंडरस्टैंडिंग कमाल की है। वो खुद बहुत बार वो प्रूव कर चुके हैं कि जब भी उन्होंने कोई अलग कंटेंट उन्हें मिला है, तो जिस तरह उन्होंने सिनेमैटिकली या थिएट्रिकली प्रेजेंट किया है, इट्स ऑलवेज बीन अ विन विन सिचुएशन। तो उस बात की हम गारंटी दे सकते हैं कि लंच बॉक्स को बहुत सबसे ज्यादा प्लेटफॉर्म जो मिल सकता है उसे थिएट्रिकली जरूर मिलेगा। तो आई एम श्योर कि कानपुर में भी बहुत सारे लोग हैं जो इस फिल्म को देखेंगे, वाराणसी में देखेंगे, साउथ या वेस्ट या ईस्ट, हर जगह अक्रॉस द कंट्री इट विल बी पोजिशनड वेरी वेरी वेल थिएट्रिकली। जहां तक ऑस्कर का सवाल है, ये हम पे निर्भर तो बिल्कुल है नहीं, इट्स ऑन दी एफएफआई। हम बस कम्युनिकेट कर सकते हैं कि क्योंकि एक बहुत ही पावरफुल स्टूडियो have come on board, and पहली बार ऐसा हुआ है कि एक ब्रेकआउट फिल्म, जैसे गुनीत ने कहा कि उन्होंने as they saw the film they brought the film out। तो वर्ल्ड वाइड रिलीज इसका ऑफ कोर्स एंड ऑफ द ईयर या शायद नेक्स्ट ईयर होगा। तो हम यही कह सकते हैं कि उनकी एक सर्टन पोजिशनिंग होती है, जब वो चुनते हैं तो दे लुक एट इट एज पोटेंशियल वर्ल्ड सिनेमा फिल्म्स। तो हम यही कह सकते हैं कि yes, this should be a front runner and India should look at it in its selection very carefully, क्योंकि ये ऐसी पिक्चर है, जब आपने ऑलरेडी फिल्म देखी है कि जिस तरह हम अपने देश को रिप्रेजेंट करते हैं, इट्स डन इन अ वेरी ब्यूटीफुल मैनर। हम देखते हैं कि जब वर्ल्ड सिनेमा में इंडिया को रिप्रेजेंट किया जाता है, तो इट्स नेवर डन एज एस्थेटिकली, ब्यूटीफुली एंड इमोशनली लाइक इट इज इन लंच बॉक्स। ये फिल्म हम गर्व से कह सकते हैं कि ये हिंदुस्तानी फिल्म है, बहुत ही खूबसूरत फिल्म है, और ये फिल्म हम प्राउडली किसी को भी दिखा सकते हैं। तो अगर इसे हमें ये प्लेटफॉर्म दिया जाए, तो आई एम श्योर गिवन ऑल आवर कलेक्टिव एनर्जीज एंड सोनीज पावर, हम इसे जरूर आगे बढ़ा सकते हैं। और क्या पता, वो जो गोल्डन स्टैचू सालों तक इस देश ने नहीं देखा है, शायद लंच बॉक्स उसे घर ले आए, एंड वी आर वेरी कॉन्फिडेंट अबाउट दैट। रितेश,
क्या ये फिल्म आपकी जिंदगी के किसी अनुभव से जुड़ी है? दूसरी बात, मैं प्रश्न चिन्ह नहीं लगा रही, बस जिज्ञासा के लिए जानना चाहूंगी कि आपने लास्ट में दोनों को एक बार भी मिलने क्यों नहीं दिया?
पहले सवाल के लिए, ये फिल्म मेरी ज़िंदगी के बहुत सारे अनुभवों से जुड़ी है, पर ऑब्वियसली मैं बहुत ही स्लो राइट करता हूँ, बहुत ही धीरे लिखता हूँ। तो उन सालों में मैंने उन सब छोटी छोटी चीज़ों को बहुत ज़्यादा एग्जैजरेट किया है। करण की तरह मुझे भी कभी कोई लंच बॉक्स नहीं आया है, मगर और आपके दूसरे सवाल के बारे में, हमारी यही कोशिश रही थी, जब मैं, इरफान, निम्रत बात करते थे इसके बारे में, और जब मैं लिख रहा भी था, कि यही कोशिश थी कि ये फिल्म आपके अंदर ख़त्म होनी चाहिए, कि आप थिएटर में देखें और फिर जब आप बाहर जाएं और फिर आप अपनी लाइफ को इस फिल्म में लाएं, और अगर आप ऑप्टिमिस्ट हैं तो आप सोचें कि ये मिलेंगे, अगर आप पेसिमिस्ट हैं तो आप सोचें नहीं मिलेंगे। तो यही हमारी कोशिश थी।
Hi Guneet, this is Faridun from Bollywood Hungama. In the beginning you said that there are various producers from all across the world, be it US or be it Germany as well, I believe. And now UTV is joining in, and Dharma Productions have joined in as well. So what are the different roles of the various producers, if for a layman, if you have to possibly tell?
So, firstly, when we started putting this together, we got our first round of financing from Dar Motion Pictures. Then we had NFDC and SL Vision also financed the film and come on board from India. ASAP in France got money from CNC and Arte, which is a TV channel there. And we did mark as the highest on script. On script, they raised more than 50% of the money of the budget of the film in France, and then our German partners found money in Germany. With that, that's one aspect of it. With that, they also managed the whole post-production. So the offline, the edit has happened in US. The sound design has happened in Germany. The color correction has happened in Paris. And it's been a whole event and a whole journey. And besides that, when you see that, you have these producers from these territories, they've been very helpful in taking the film far and making it a world recognized name. And I also have to add to this that this also marks as the first film which Irfan is a co-producer on also. And with all the support that we've got from our actors, from all the co-producers, we're 16 co-producers on the film. And yes, of course, this is again a first time for it. But it's outstanding, the energy that a very unique film in its own nature has with the power of everyone put together.
So UTV and Dharma Productions, do they come in terms of the publicity part of it as well?
Yes, they have. They're not only doing the publicity, but releasing it in India and taking it all the way around the world with us.
Approximately what sort of release are you looking at? And there are talks of Kanpur and Varanasi, maybe picture shayad dikhai jayegi. And now, do we see the English portions being dubbed for those territories if possible?
No, we're not really looking at a dub as far as the Indian release is concerned at all, because we believe that it's quite a universal film. There isn't that much English in the film that people won't be able to understand it in the cities that you've mentioned. And we want to give it a very wide release, because the idea really with this film is that we don't believe that it should be restricted by the nature of the film. It should go as wide as the nature of the emotion, which is really very, very universal. I don't think, we in our minds need to restrict how wide this film can go and what the scope of it could be. So we're going to give the film a really good release on the 20th of September.
Any approximate numbers that in terms of screens are you looking at?
We're still figuring out the distribution plan right now. It'll be a little bit early to sort of comment on that, but it will be a wide release.
Thank you.
Siddharth, I have a question. You guys released Ship of Theseus recently, this one then, and then you guys have picked up Shahid also. Do you guys see the money coming in, or is it just a brand building exercise as of now? You guys are making money from Chennai Express and the other big ones. But how are the small films faring? I know you guys have the pull to put in Ship of Theseus till 5 weeks, if I'm not wrong. But if you can give some stats, some figures, how is it working, and what are you hoping from these two?
So, as a studio, I think that's one thing that we've always done. So in a year when we had Rang De Basanti, we also had a Khosla Ka Ghosla. A year where we had a Jodha Akbar, we also had a Wednesday. A year where we had a Devdi, we had big movies as well. So it isn't something new to us. I think what we try to do is really be genre agnostic. We make all kinds of movies, big movies, small movies, just movies that connect. And each movie needs to be nurtured and treated differently. And really, you need to have a different distribution strategy and a different marketing strategy for the film. With a film like Ship of Theseus, what we knew that it was a film that would cater to a certain sensibility. It is an acquired taste in terms of the sort of cinema that it is. We didn't want to drown it out by releasing it so wide that it would be out, after 1 week because the occupancies were low. But I think with a film like The Lunchbox, which is a really universal film, I don't really think that it's a film that doesn't connect just on first viewing and isn't very, very widely, it caters to a sensibility that is a mainstream sensibility. So the idea with this film would be to really go as wide as we can.
मेरा नाम आलोक है, मैं OA104.8 हूँ सर, आपके लेफ्ट में. मेरा सवाल सभी जो भी डायस पे बैठे हैं, एक ही सवाल है कि लंच बॉक्स आपने कभी ना कभी तो लिया ही होगा, स्कूल में, बच्चे में, बड़े होने में, या कभी भी कोई ऐसा एक्सपीरियंस बचपन का आपके लंच बॉक्स में क्या होता था और किस तरीके से आता था? नवाज भाई से स्टार्ट करना चाहेंगे.
मैं लंच बॉक्स मैं एक्चुअली लेके नहीं जाता था. पहले ही इतना ज़्यादा खा के जाता था कि ज़रूरत ही नहीं पड़ती थी बॉक्स की. तो मेरे लिए लंच बॉक्स का इतना ज़्यादा एक्सपीरियंस नहीं है. हाँ, निम्रत के बारे में मैंने सुना है कि काफ़ी अच्छा, ये बचपन में भी इसी तरह की हरकतें करती थी जो फिल्म में कर रही थी.
जी, मैं एक्चुअली अपने लंच बॉक्स को लेके बहुत पोजेसिव थी. मैं कभी शेयर नहीं करती थी. मुझे कोई शौक नहीं था किसी और को अपना खाना खिलाने में, बिकॉज मेरी मदर बहुत अच्छा खाना बनाती है. तो या आई थिंक आई वाज क्वाइट अ स्टूज एंड आई वाजंट अ वेरी पॉपुलर किड इन स्कूल जस्ट बिकॉज ऑफ दिस वन टैलेंट. Over to you.
For me, the lunchbox was a liability because I never used to eat. We were busy playing, in schools. So we used to take the lunchbox, which was already, like it used to spoil till the evening. We used to come back. So lunchbox was a kind of thing. बहुत ही भूख लगी तो खा लिया, नहीं तो we never used to look at lunchbox.
Karan.
Well, I actually was about 150 kilos in school. And I still remember, and I'm glad Apurva's in the audience, he was in school with me. He's my childhood best friend. And they had a custom. I moved to the 6th standard. I remember that's when we started bringing and eating lunch on our own. And Apurva and all his friends, I was new in the class that time because they changed me for some reason. There was A, B, and C, and I was put into the C division, and didn't know anybody there. And they used to share their food and everything, and most Gujaratis have yellow things in their food. So everything was yellow, and I didn't want my hands to become yellow. So I wouldn't eat with them because then I thought that yellow would come on, and all those students in that class had yellow notebooks and yellow books and everything was yellow. So I was so scared that my books would become yellow that I refused to eat with them in that community eating. And I got the reputation of being a snoot because I would eat my own lunchbox. And then I never wanted to share my dessert because that was all, there was a big piece of brownie that my mother always gave me. She thought I was still malnourished, I think. So she sent me this brownie every day that was in the top half of the box. That dessert kept changing, but what was below was always something scrumptious which I refused to share with anyone. Till no one wanted to be my friend, and because of my lunchbox, actually, because I never shared my lunchbox. And one day the principal actually walked in and said that no one is friends with Karan Johar. Who will be his friend? And my CEO of my company put his hand up there at when he was all of 10 years old, and he said he will. So I think maybe he wanted my brownie, that's why he put his hand up. So that's I have quite a tragic story about my lunchbox. It made me my best friend, actually, so it actually sums up in some way.
Director साहब